So, in this video, what I want you to think about is close your eyes and picture the economy and what comes to mind. Right now, a lot of people might think money. I think the economy, I think about money, stacks of bills. Some people might think just about like a building, maybe businesses. Some people might think about products that you buy on a regular basis. Um, but a lot of common answers when I do this in class is that nothing really came to mind. I don't know what the economy looks like, right? Because it's kind of a hard thing to picture because there's a lot of different parts to the economy. So what we're going to do in this video is give you a picture of the economy. Now, it's not a drawing. Nobody's going to have to draw a picture like you would think about. We're going to use a diagram. It's called a circular flow diagram. And it allows us to see all of the different groups that exist within the economy and then how we are all connected to each other and things that are getting exchanged between us. So we're going to start off very simply by talking about two of the big groups that exist in the economy. We have individuals who make up the consumers, the workers, and we have businesses. So if you are a pure free market, this is what the economy would look like. But we have these two groups that exist here. Now, individuals in our system own the factors of production. So all those resources that exist, right? We privately own those. And businesses own the goods and services, right? Now, these two groups interact with each other on a regular basis, um, a lot on a daily basis. And we're looking at exchanging things with one another. Now, if you did the reading yesterday, you'll remember that voluntary exchange is a big part of the US economy, right? The all of the exchanges that we're talking about between these two groups happen on their own because we as individuals decide we want to do this, businesses decide they want to do that, the owners decide that, and everybody benefits from these exchanges. You're getting something that you want out of it, businesses are getting something that they want out of it. So, the first exchange that has to take place is focused on the factors of production, right? Businesses want those resources because without those resources, they can't produce the goods and services that they're trying to sell. And so they have to buy those factors of production. So the voluntary exchange that happens here is that individuals have resources, businesses want those resources, but they can't just go to individuals and say, give us all these things that we need. They have to offer something in exchange. So that exchange is money, right? Now, way back when we would barter for things, we would trade for things, right? But you would have to find something that somebody else wants in order for that exchange to go on. So we switched to money because people want money. Individuals, we want that money because we want to do things with it. So that exchange is what happens in what we call the factor market. Okay, the factor market, hence the name, is where the factors of production are bought and sold in exchange for money. Okay, so businesses buy the resources, individuals get the money. Okay, now businesses take all those resources and they make things with them, right? Their goods and their services that they're trying to sell. And once they have those available, they put them out on the shelves or they sell them online and wait for individuals to buy them, right? They're trying to sell their products back to the individuals. Now, individuals, we want those goods and services, right? Because we like to have things that we want. There's things that we need. We need food, right? We need water, shelter, clothing. We want luxury goods. We want to do some cool things, have some cool toys. So we want those products. But we can't just go to the store and take it. Right now, technically, I guess you could, but there's consequences to that decision, right? So, in exchange for those products that we want, we offer up the money that we made in the factor market, right? So businesses give money to individuals, then we turn around and take that money and we buy products from businesses. So businesses now have more money that they can buy more resources. Individuals have more money to buy more things. Hence the name circular flow diagram, because we're starting to see how the money is flowing through the system here. All right. Now, this exchange down here for goods and services, what we call the product market. Okay. The product market is where your goods and services are bought in exchange for money. So the product market focuses on goods and services. The factor market focuses on factors of production. Okay. Now, this is constantly happening. This exchange is always happening. Um, when we see growth, then we see more money flowing through the system. When we have a period of economic downturn, we're going to see less money flowing through the system. Businesses wouldn't be growing. And that's kind of, one of the ways we can measure this. Now, if we were, like I said, a pure free market system, this is all it would be our two groups here. But we know we are not a pure free market system. We're a free enterprise system, meaning that government is involved in the economy here. And so we got to throw them into the mix and see kind of all the exchanges that is happening here. Now, the government participates in the factor market, right? They buy factors of production, they buy resources from individuals. In the United States, the government can't just come and take your land or try and take resources from you. They have to pay whoever owns those resources. Now, the one slight exception to this is something called eminent domain. It's included in the Constitution. But even then, they still have to pay when they're taking land from somebody. They can't just come in and kick you off your land or anything like that. They have to offer money for it. And with eminent domain, that land, it has to be used for public use, meaning it has to be used for a road or a school or sidewalks or something that everybody would have access to, right? So the government participates in the factor market. They buy the resources because they need resources to operate just like businesses do, right? And then they have to pay individuals for those resources. Now, the government, when they buy resources, they're using it for the things that they're providing for the people, right, in the country. So anytime we have those goods and services, so again, that would be anything that everybody has access to. And one person's use doesn't take away from somebody else. So, like parks and the post office and roads and schools, um, and all those things, they use those resources to provide those. And then also the government programs that they offer for whatever reason needs resources to operate. You need buildings, you need land, you need people to work in these things and these agencies and these programs. So they're using that to provide for it. Now, in exchange, right? We don't pay directly for those things. We pay taxes, and that tax money is what goes to buy the resources that they use to produce those public goods and those government programs. Okay, so those are kind of the exchanges that are taking place between the government and individuals. And then the government gets involved with businesses as well in the product market because, again, they need things to operate. And so they have to buy things like cell phones and computers and cars and office supplies and uniforms and all kinds of stuff. And so they have to buy that from privately owned businesses, right? The government doesn't make everything themselves, right? They go to the store and they buy computers from Apple or Microsoft or whatever. They buy military equipment from private contractors who are making that. So the government doesn't make everything themselves. They buy it from private businesses. And again, they have to pay for it. They can't just go to a business and say, give us this stuff. They have to offer money for it. And so that exchange in the product market is happening between businesses and the government, as well as businesses and individuals. Now, the government also uses some of the money from taxes to provide businesses uh, goods and services to them as well. So businesses use the roads to transport their products. They use the post office, right? They still use some of the things that the government is providing, but the government also offers things like subsidies to businesses, which we talked about a little bit before. We're looking at saying, okay, businesses, if you're doing these things that the government wants, then they're going to give you some tax breaks. They might actually pay you for doing whatever it is they want you to do. And so that is provided to businesses as well. And they are getting the money to buy these things through taxes. So businesses pay taxes just like individuals do. I shouldn't say just like individuals because there are some pretty significant differences, but businesses do pay taxes, right, based on the value of the products that they sell and how much money that they're making. So the government uses that tax dollars then to buy the goods and services that they need. They use it to buy the resources that they need. And again, all of this is just continuously flowing between our three groups. Okay, so this is what your economy here in the United States looks like. Again, we're looking at how resources, products, and money pretty much flow between our three big groups here. So, what you're going to do is go to the Wiser assignment and complete that, and then move on to the final part of the agenda for today.